Okay, welcome everybody. Uh, Thanks for joining us here at Tech Extranet. Hopefully you can hear us okay. Yeah, it sounds like everything's good. So just want to make sure everything's sounding okay. And what we have today is we're going to be going over some tech news and some tips that are kind of common and came out recently. And at this point, we are also going to then go over the news, and then we'll go over some uh, Q&A if you guys have anything. I know we probably have not too many people on this first stream, so if there's not much Q&A, then we will just end the video just based on the news and the information that we're going to go over. So starting off here, we have some cool information that actually affects even my IT team as well, that it looks like Microsoft is releasing Outlook for Mac for all, pretty much for free for all Macs. So the difference here that's changed is that you can now utilize it without needing a Microsoft 365 subscription, which is pretty cool. It's interesting that you still have to kind of pay for Office for the Windows, I guess, or Microsoft PCs. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing that, but they're going with the theme of Outlook for the iPhone being a free thing, or Outlook for iPad. And so pretty much that's their logic, is they want to make sure that anyone with the Mac can technically utilize Outlook. And the cool thing here is that there will be ads that get played on here, but technically you will be able to connect to anything. You can connect to a Gmail account, iCloud, Microsoft, let's say Outlook.com, Yahoo, IMAP, stuff like that. So right on your Mac. And it looks like, furthermore, they have some cool widgets that you can utilize. I know that these are a lot of extra features. We have a couple users that use Mac, and they literally have had some craziness with their Outlook, acting weird, not doing search properly. So we're wondering if this is going to also kind of add new revisions to the software to make it a little better and make it easier to use. So I'll definitely have my team try to deploy this to some of the users that we have that are using Macs and see if they like it. But you get cool features here with this these widgets, as well as a feature here where you could probably hand off emails from your Mac over to your iPhone, which is kind of interesting and cool. And looks like you can utilize profiles as well. And then they're also kind of going over the design of how it looks. And there's a bunch of people here complaining already that it was giving them trouble, but it sounds like they possibly resolved some of the issues. And I guess technically, if you do pay for Microsoft Office 365, you do get no ads inside of it. So we can actually also, after this after this live stream, we can go ahead and give you the link to this Outlook app for Mac if you need it. And that kind of summarizes that. So it's kind of interesting information that just came out yesterday. Okay, and then in here we have another article. There's a bunch of the talk with ChatGPT and how Microsoft kind of backs ChatGPT. And so now it looks like, other than Microsoft adding it to Bing, you can now technically see some of the power behind Microsoft's ChatGPT with Dynamics 365 Copilot. And so the logic is that this can possibly start sending out emails automatically for you, if you're a salesperson, or follow up, answering questions for clients. So I guess there's some danger in this, but kind of cool. Also kind of, a little worrisome, but I guess depending on how they utilize it and how it's deployed, it could be kind of cool. So it's kind of interesting. So you might start getting, messages from a salesperson that salesperson maybe orchestrated, but actually didn't type out and send, and the system is just doing it for you. There's a lot of features out there now with a lot of the CRM solutions that automate this already, but this is probably taking it to another level. And so it's kind of interesting to see that that's out there, and a little crazy as well. Another news article we want to talk about, kind of switching all over the place. This is about Tesla, and it looks like if you're in the market for a Model S and an X, you can go ahead and see that you'll be saving. Yeah, I think it's like anywhere from $5,000 to $9,000 on the vehicles. So I don't know if they're trying to really push for more adoption, but it's kind of an interesting thing to see. And since we're pretty techie and we do like Tesla on this channel, we want to kind of bring that up and say, hey, if you're looking for an extremely expensive car, the prices have been cut a little bit here. But there's obviously different solutions with the other models, like the Model 3 and the Model Y, which are, I would say, cheaper priced and still get you very similar features and quality. But logically, that's kind of going out there, and it's kind of showing that possibly there's some crazy price drops causing, let's say the market to have an increase at Tesla's more than likely. And so, and then there's talk in this article about the rebates that are out there that are kind of nice. So you can double check those and see if you get any tax credits, which actually then tries to make the car into a more reasonable priced, solution, I guess. And so next up here is a little bit more on Tesla. This is kind of exciting. It looks like you can then soon do wireless car charging, which would be nice that you could possibly pull up and have a little pad. Either in this picture it's in the back, or I don't know if it'll be in the front of the car, where you pull in and then the car will just wirelessly charge. This is from March 3rd, but still like a pretty interesting and cool concept. I know that there's been a couple companies out there that have been working on this for different manufacturers, even I think for BMW. But the idea here is that you can connect to your wall connector. They don't know if you'll be able to use your existing wall connector, or you'd have to get a new one, and then you can just pull in and just charge without having to worry about plugging it in, which is pretty awesome. So we have this kind of constantly being looked at to see if what actually happens, what they're going to release. I don't necessarily specifically know that the word is out that it's ready to go, but at least they're pretty much working on it. And I guess during the Investor Day presentation, they actually did mention that in a slide. So at least that some new stuff's coming and that it's exciting. So, okay. And then let's see here. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to a little bit of gaming on the tech side. One thing my son is personally interested in is going to be Hogwarts Legacy, which is kind of funny that I guess it was released for PC and I want to say for PlayStation 5, but now it's coming out soon for PS4 and Xbox. And then, excuse me, what my son is actually really looking forward to is the it coming out for the Switch. So that's, I guess, in July. So kind of wanted to bring that up, that it's kind of a really cool looking game, and you can watch a bunch of videos online or on YouTube about it, but it's pretty cool with cool graphics. So kind of interesting. I know one of my employees who's an intern actually has a Steam Deck, and this is a new piece of information that they're really becoming better and better. And I guess according to him too, he pretty much likes it. And it's just kind of interesting to see that these systems are getting better and better. And then, they kind of compare it in this article on CNET to Nintendo Switch as well, like that it's kind of more powerful and very, it's not as, you don't have to be as technical or techie to use it based on, the Nintendo Switch. You just load the games and you're good to go. But with the Steam Deck, you would normally need to be a little bit more technical to get it set up and working, but they're saying it's getting better and better. So that's pretty cool. And still here on the gaming side, there's a good discount here on the Xbox Elite wireless controller. So I wanted to bring that up. That's just something, if you're interested in gaming, pretty cool discount. And it seems like something like this is always going on, so be aware of that. Also, if you're interested in the Amazon tablets, this Fire HD 8 is down to $60. I'm assuming this one is going to be the ad supported unit, but pretty nice. It says that it's $5 more than the all-time low. during the holiday season. So, and about $25 off the 8-inch tablet's normal price. So, kind of nice to have that as an option if you have, a need for some light apps as well as even for kids. Really, just a good little unit. I noticed that these budget tablets are pretty functional, for reading or for just using exactly what apps are on the screen there. You can shop, you can browse the internet. Pretty cool. So pretty nice device and solution for something that you don't have to be paying hundreds of dollars on the Apple side, which obviously the Apple products are still really good for their use. But if you have different use cases, this kind of fits that gap or fills the gap. Additionally, here we have good discounts on these Anchor charging accessories, and I do love really anything Anchor, a lot of Anchor stuff, and they're really discounted quite a bit on Amazon. And so pretty much here it looks like these power banks that you can use to charge your devices are pretty much on sale here. And then on top of that, they always have different power plugs like USB-C chargers. And they even mention here this compact 47 watt 523 nano or any type of cables. There's some good deals. So we'll post that as well. So you have the information from Engadget here. And that's pretty much all with the deals. Kind of wanted to bring up on top of all this that we have a good video that came out about 3 weeks ago about iMessage on Windows. It's pretty much is a game changer as far as being able to have your iMessage and many features from your iPhone appear onto the actual computer or PC. Because if you have a Mac, you get like a full feature set of things you could do. You could do FaceTime, you can do iMessage, you can see a lot of notifications from your iPhone right on your Mac. But with this video and the solution from Intel, you're able to then at least get iMessage right onto your computer and send and receive. I believe that even just looking at some of the comments in this video on YouTube, people are complaining that group message does not work, and apparently that's an issue. So group message is more than likely not going to be sent to your PC, but hopefully there'll be a new update that fixes that. It's hard to say. And then on top of that, you can actually easily transfer files between your phone and your computer. You can also see all the images in a gallery, in a formal type gallery, stuff like that. So pretty cool things. Pretty nice to know, and wanted to kind of make sure you were aware that this was out there. And that pretty much summarizes everything that we wanted to go through, kind of went through really quickly. If another last item was that we do have a video on if you're using Outlook for Windows and someone sends you a bunch of pictures, want to make sure you take a look at that. There's a way to actually download all the images immediately. So obviously it's a kind of a unique set of a user having a bunch of attachments in there and needing the ability to save them all at once. But it does help quite a bit and reduces the time if you need to be able to download them really quick. So, and got a bunch of other videos obviously here that you can kind of check out, and that's about it. And it looks like we kind of flew through this, and we don't really have too many people here on the live stream. But if there's any Q&A, we can go ahead and do that now. But more than likely, this will be the end of our first live stream. And let's see if there's anything else we want to kind of go over. Yeah, there actually was two more things we wanted to go over. So if you look here, there's an important meeting coming out, I guess, going on today with Jerome Powell. And so I know that it's not really specifically tech, but we will see if we can get you the exact details. Yeah, so he's gonna be going today, and let's see. Yeah, so right here on Twitter, there's some information from the Federal Reserve that the Federal Reserve Chair Powell is going to present a semi-annual monetary policy report to the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking. And so that goes on today, and I believe there's something going on today and tomorrow for this. And this is, I guess, heavily, to be noted because it can affect all of your money. So if you have any investments, you have any things that you have to do as far as, let's say borrowing money, or, even the stock market is heavily, kind of affected by this. So one thing to note is be aware of these meetings. And there's also a set of meetings that happen called the FOMC meetings. And if we could search here on our station, we did it a long time ago and didn't get a lot of views, but it's from 7 months ago. It's called How the FOMC Makes or Breaks Your Stock Portfolio. I recommend you read that or learn about the FOMC because it does affect the stock market dramatically, at least in my case, when looking at, even tech stocks as well as, really anything technical. So I highly recommend you review that. And the thing to note with that is that these meetings are very they're scheduled, but then whatever the Chair Powell will say or mention, if it's positive or negative, it really affects the markets dramatically. People jump really quickly, and so there's actually ways to more than likely kind of utilize that to your advantage. So be aware of that, and that kind of makes you maybe a better either investor or at least understand what's going to go on as well as with the tech market and different things related to that. And then in here, I guess lastly, what I didn't have here set up, but I want to kind of share with you is that kind of in the background, I don't know how much you're dealing with the cryptocurrencies, but it looks like Bitcoin is a big powerhouse to be aware of. Obviously, we're not recommending that you buy it, but we kind of keep that on our radar at all times. Considering it looks like, if we want to show you a little bit of the history here on Bitcoin, kind of 3 months ago, looks like it was around, I guess this is showing about 16K. But if we were to go out to a year ago, you'll see the highs up here, like close to 47,000. Let's see what's the very highest amount would show up here. Yeah, so I guess be aware of this. All right, here all the time. That's what we need right here. So like this high of 64K back in November 2021, it's kind of a huge swing, and a lot of analysts online are kind of expecting it to rebound there. It's hard to say if it will, but kind of wanted to bring that up and kind of make sure that we are, aware of that and keeping an eye on it. And another hidden gem that we pretty much like a lot, which probably be hard for you to necessarily get, it's called XRP. And XRP is an interesting crypto because the SEC is actually wrapping up a case against them, in which case it's hard to say, if they are going to be victorious at the end, but it's looking positive for XRP so far, and it's been taking forever. I don't know if it's approaching, almost 1 to 2 years for this case, and the price has really been controlled or brought down due to the case. But long story short is that, let's see here, all-time highs were at a very short period. We're about $3, and today it's at 38 cents or 37 cents. And so on the tech side, we highly recommend you keep an eye out on this. There's some markets where you can actually still purchase it. Not that we recommend that you do, but it looks like you can't really get on Coinbase, unfortunately, because Coinbase delisted them once the case happened. But there's speculation online that says that the price kind of will bump up or explode after you pretty much after they finish the SEC case. So kind of wanted to bring that up. These are the places where you can still purchase it. And it's actually, it looks like this is even a larger list than before. So I think these exchanges are starting back to list it. And so kind of those are my top things to be looking at. And then as well as we personally love Ethereum all the way with pretty much the whole Ethereum ecosystem. There's been some negative things happening with it, but if I had a choice, these are really our top three that we quite a bit enjoy and like and kind of watch. And so as you can tell here too, with Ethereum, the high being 4,534. So down to 1,500, it's an interesting time. So once you start seeing all these prices dropping like this, it's kind of hard to say, is it going to be a positive, thing in the future? What's going to happen, in the next few months or the next couple of years, and so just something to watch out. And the same thing goes for our other stock, I guess, recommendation or tip, or I guess what we prefer, what we like would be Tesla stock. And so if we were to kind of look at that, let's see here. Looks like it's at $188. And let's see here. From, obviously with the stock split and all that, 381 from a year ago, and 5 year, we're talking all the way up to 407. So it's an interesting time in the market for all these either tech stocks, cryptocurrencies, and technologies like that. There's a bunch of whole, I guess, a big set of AI stocks that are coming out as well. But these are just interesting things. It's like, these times are possibly the times where you can build some generational wealth, but it's all really on how do you actually, pick the proper stock at the proper time, and then, when do you sell? So it's just a big balance with that. So I guess that's everything that we have so far, and it looks like we only have a few people on the live stream now. But if anyone has any questions, you can pop them in. But if not, I think we are all set, and we're going to wrap up the broadcast. And do appreciate you watching this, and hopefully we will put this on the channel that we can watch it after the stream, and hopefully we'll be able to do more of these and get them possibly scheduled and set up so that we can do them more often. So okay, thanks again, and have a good one.